not just mine, his or her house. This is our house.
Hello, my name is Tyrone Lowe. This is my show, The Legends, and I want to thank everybody across the world that actually subscribes and look at my show. In the House of the Legends, we have, well, you heard all of his music, and he's still going strong these days, and we're going to give you the legendary Anthony Hamilton, and also an upcoming artist that he's producing right now, JxHINES. What's going on, fellas?
What's going on? What's going on? Thanks for having us.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Okay. So, Mr. Hamilton, it's a pleasure to have you on my show. Mr. Hines, it's a pleasure. I'm quite flattered.
Thank
So
you.
we're going to talk a little bit about you, Anthony, because you've been doing a whole lot through the years, and
Mm,
I know that you're originally from Charlotte, and
yeah,
I lived in Charlotte for a matter of years. So, I'm familiar with a lot of your history and a lot of your music. So let's talk about you a little bit afar about how you got started and the things that you're currently doing right now.
man, started with a dream as a young one, um, and I made sure that everything I did it was surrounded with music, whether it be in school, church choir, camp, whatever it was, I was involved in the music. And so after that, as you get older, you start realizing like, okay, I got to start putting myself out. So I started doing talent shows and singing around everybody. I was a barber, so I was known as a singing barber. So I'd be cutting your hair and I'd be singing at the same time. And eventually, that caught the ear of a producer by the name of Mark Sparks, who produced for um, Mary J. Blige and produced Shoot for Salt and Pepper.
Right.
Eventually, I got he took me up to New York in like 91, 92, and by 93, he had gotten me signed to Uptown MCA, where I opened up for Jodeci and Mary J. Blige was there, and it's just amazing.
It's amazing because you put out a lot of good stuff, man. And
Thank you.
as a producer, singer, things of that nature,
Hmm.
it's a pleasure, man, to listen to you, man, because
I
you
appreciate
seem
it.
like you have a good story that goes on with everything. So let's talk about Charlene, because
Ah,
that was a very influential that was a very, very intense type of song because it tells a lot about me in a sense with somebody that I was dealing with at the time. So
yeah.
how did you actually come about that?
Man, it was being signed and being in a relationship. I think thinking back now, maybe my mood, you know,
Right.
put
Hmm.
put strain on the relationship, and eventually, we started to split
Right.
ways and start seeing things different. And at that moment, I didn't have, I didn't have, I didn't have a record deal that was taking me anywhere. So I was heartbroken and I was out of work,
Right.
and I had to figure it out. So writing with Mark Batson, who produced coming from where I'm from, and Charlene,
Hmm.
it was a freeing place where I could talk about my heartache and pain.
Right. So we're
So
going to take a little bit further now. We're going to talk about Mr. Hines. Mr. Hines, how are you, sir?
I'm blessed, sir. I'm here. No complaints. How you feeling?
He has a new track out. It's called Body Like, and it is dropped
body
today.
like scissor, body
Like
like scissor.
silver.
Right. So um,
Uh,
let's talk about the track, Mr. Hines.
Yes, sir. So basically, it's a
it's
fun record.
fire.
It's gas, right? It's hard
Most
for me to
it
gas
is. It is
myself up.
definitely.
But basically, man, I just wanted to bring an element of fun and balance back to what I feel is, missing in today's music sometimes.
Hmm.
And I'm just glad I got one of those catalogs to be able to bring something like a body like scissor to the forefront. So the record is just a fun time. It's a good time. It's about empowerment. and uplifting, and and we just, the visual is amazing. We followed like a flavor of love theme to kind of tie the whole entire concept into an amazing piece of work. You know what I'm saying? So it's a vibe, man. It's an amazing record, and I can't wait to, the world catches on and everybody loves it just as much.
So how did you actually start getting into the rap game and actually getting into music, period?
Uh, I would say not so much the rap game. I'm actually more so a vocalist and a writer. Those are
Right,
like my two strong suits. But I grew up in church. My father's a singer. I come from a family of musicians, so
right.
having that pedigree of knowing what music felt like and was at an early age, being exposed to not only just gospel but soul to pop to hip hop. I'm a fan of all these things. So I didn't start professionally recording until my freshman year of college. I used to me and my homie, we used to cut out the room and we used to make a little makeshift studio. And
Right.
this is when I was playing sports at the time, and we used to just record ourselves between practice or after practice. But at that time, I would just play it for the team and the people around the campus because I was still kind of shy about merging into that world and know too much about it. So eventually I just said, you know what, man, if I'm gonna do it, I feel like I just need to give. I just been all in since.
So how's your esteem now towards that factor?
Uh, s- Seeing that it paid off after about 10, 11 years later, I'm happy, man. I think God's timing has been perfect for me in all aspects, down to even, being able to have an opportunity to partner up with Mr. Anthony Hamilton, the legend himself, to come underneath that tutelage to become who I'm about to become to the world. So it's dope.
How did you guys actually meet in collaboration?
Well,
Um,
he said we
we
met
didn't know.
about
Oh, you want
15
to answer
times.
that?
I remember. I
We
remember three.
did. I got all the pictures. I got all the
I
pictures.
want to see all of
I
them.
got him.
Now, but how did you
I
guys
got
actually
him,
meet,
man.
Mr. Hamilton? Could you talk about that?
Yeah, just you know, listening out for new music. When I decided to be my own boss, my own CEO, I
Right.
wanted to have talent that stood out. And people, I started asking people around Charlotte,
Hmm.
who's the next hot thing, who's the next big thing, who do y'all see in the city who may have that it factor. And everybody was saying JxHINES. He's up
Okay.
next. And so I decided to, after hearing his name a few times, I go on his IG and start checking him out. And eventually we met
Hmm.
for the last time. Um, and we really connected. And I was like, hey, I'm serious about it. I want to, I think I can take what you've done and take it to another level, and we can take each other to another level if we collaborate. And that's what we did.
So,
Sir.
Anthony, when did you start your label? Actually.
Wow. Before the pandemic, it was probably maybe 3 years old, 3.5 years old now.
Okay.
Um, I signed to BMG, um, I signed to myself, and then I did a deal with BMG for distribution.
Okay.
So I think that was probably 2001, 2002, somewhere around there.
Okay.
Fairly new.
Okay. So, JX, what was your reaction when you said when you was actually signed to Anthony's record deal? I mean, what was going on with you when you knew that you was actually accepted through this whole aura?
Um, it was a surreal moment because it was like finally like I could belong to something. I could just focus. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, and for me, I had a few. I had offers on the table. With a few people and different bigger labels and things like that. And I just was in a state of I wanted to make the right decision
Right.
for somebody actually putting their arms around me and helping me flourish. You know what I'm saying? It's not a lot of mentorship. It's not a lot of guys that's my age looking for that type of stuff. Everybody, don't want to listen, especially my generation. They don't want to listen. They got all the answers.
Right.
And I
Right.
really wanted somebody to teach me not only just how to be a better man, but a better artist, a better
Right.
businessman. You know, to better love myself, a better father one day. And I don't think you really got too many examples of that
Right.
nowadays. And I was one of those people that seek wisdom from the always been like that. So, you know, just that when Mr. Hamilton really came to me and, you know, through our passings and then he finally, you know, we had the opportunity, he brought me to JD. And to me, I was like, all right, I don't know too many people in this world that would ever do that.
Right.
That would ever do that. Because that's taking a chance on his name. You know what I'm saying? Like he
Right.
believed in me that much to do that. And for me, even when he went through the pandemic and he was, you know, he had his time where, you know, things wasn't as well, you know, from a health standpoint, you know, he still was like, yo, I'm listening to your stuff every day. Like it's touching me, like, you know, and he knew all my words. So I was really shocked.
Okay.
So, you know, but it showed me he was listening.
Right.
And I don't
Right.
think you really find too many people from a CEO, executive, an artist who's done it, who really is like, nah, man, I'm all in with you. And from there, we just took our time, got the business together, and now we're here.
Well, you know, on my point of view with Anthony is that he actually landed and he's giving back in a sense, giving other people, you know, a chance. You know, somebody gave him a chance, so he said to, you know what, if God gave me a chance, it's time for me to pass the torch to somebody else and give him that favor as well. You know,
Sure.
so
Absolutely.
briefly,
Absolutely.
let's talk about the track briefly. Let's talk about the track before the world gets to hear it. And this is the first show that is going to be shown, that's going to be sounded on today. So
Yes,
let's
sir.
talk about it briefly.
Okay.
Fire.
So basically, it's fire. Yeah. Like, you know, I have a hard time picking up my stuff, man. I'm that humble, but it's an amazing, well written vibe. I feel like it's gonna take the world by storm eventually. I can't wait till the
It's
right
body
ears and
like
the right people, and
scissor.
even
Body
even
like scissor.
like can
Well,
we
You
yeah,
don't
can we
have
take
to
a
look. You don't even have to explain body like
Well, you
scissor.
know
You just
what?
gotta
We're
hear
gonna
it.
do we're gonna do better than that right now. We're gonna actually listen to the track. You guys go out there,
Yeah.
embrace it, support it, play it, and
Absolutely.
let everybody know that it's
Stream it.
fire. So we'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Stream it. Body like scissor.
It's not just mine, it's on her house. This is our house.
We got some fun people in the house tonight.
This is our house.
Since got richer, my plate got bigger. Say she wanna spend the night, asking me like what's for dinner. She working on her ass in the winter. She say she want a body like scissor. Do your sit-ups? It's the weekend, now she working that pin-up. She think about tuition every time that money go up. This is not a love song, we might as well pull up. Men lie, women lie, tell me something I don't know. Let's take a toast, girl, I'm fucking with ya. Cause ain't been the same since I got richer. She know I'm not a spitter, but still a splitter. Down the middle. It started in the basement like my name was Tigger. Or bigger, either way I'm getting bigger. Just sign a deal, dreams getting realer. And I'm coming for you, cause Michael Jackson sister. Got richer, my plate got bigger. Say she wanna spend the night, asking me like what's for dinner. She working on her ass in the winter. She say she want a body like scissor. Do your sit-ups? It's the weekend, now she working that pin-up. She think about tuition every time that money go up. This is not a love song, we might as well pull up. Men lie, women lie, tell me something I don't. Bounce with me, R&B jigger. We started from the bottom, look now I'm at. They taking pictures, they can't get near us. Mirror on the wall, like tell me who the baddest of them all. Fear us, I remember they ain't wanna hear us. Now promoters pay that back in before we even show up. Let's talk the glow up, man, the glow up. Only time they really hit you when they need you, when they miss you. Got richer, my plate got bigger. Say she wanna spend the night, asking me like what's for dinner. She working on her in the winter. She say she want a body like scissor. Do your sit-ups? It's the weekend, now she working that pin up. She think about tuition every time that money go up. This is not a love song, we might as well pull up. Men lie, women lie, tell me something I don't know.
It's not just mine, his or her house. This is our house.
We got some fun people in the house tonight.
This is our house.
And we're back. My name is Tyrone Lowe. This is my show, The Legends. And in the house we have the legendary Anthony Hamilton and JxHINES. What's going on, fellas?
Yes, sir.
What up, dog?
You know,
Yeah.
Anthony, I really appreciate the spirituality of actually passing the torch, man, with your label. Are you actually producing other artists as well right now?
I'm just focused on JxHINES right now. I think
Okay.
he deserves that. I think that's what's needed. Because I don't take it lightly what we're about to put out, and
Right.
I don't take it for granted. So I want to give it its proper moment, its proper time and attention, and make sure that the fans really get it how they need it.
Okay. So, Mr. Hines, do you have an EP that's actually going to be dropping behind this, or are you working on some new production right now?
So the music
We
is
got
pretty much done. Listen, we're sitting on a whole lot of life-changing records,
We
man.
got some
But just to
fire.
answer to answer your question though, I actually have an EP that's all available to stream right now called Love Stories. I put it out like 2 years ago during the
Okay.
pandemic. But it's actually a beautiful, amazing piece of work. That was one of the bodies of work that actually kind of, Anthony kind of really fell in love with, and kind of was like, I feel like solidified the deal.
Love it,
Right.
love it,
Um,
love it, love it.
but one through nine, man, no skip. So what we're doing now is just building and showing people another side, my debut project and album.
Right.
But the music is done, man. We sitting on fire. Like
I
you
hear that.
said.
I was,
Yes, sir.
I was banging it in my car yesterday, man. I was like,
Yes,
okay,
sir.
you know what I mean? I was
And
really
that's not even
enjoying
the,
it.
and that's not even the R&B bag yet. That's the thing about it that's so cool, because this record, it just shows a different side of me, and I'm happy
Right.
that he's allowing the audience and my fans different versions of JxHINES, and I think that's needed to survive and to transcend in today's time. So I appreciate him for just being
Okay.
that cool.
I usually ask my artists, this question because it's very informative to a lot of people that's coming into the craft itself. So, Anthony, can you tell my viewers some good,
Yeah.
good advice about, actually about the business and what they have to look out for and what they actually need to do to actually deal with the craft?
You know what? Learn what it is you're getting into. Always, pay attention to what the business, how it's affected by, whether it be the pay or the percentage or whatever it is that will affect your well-being and your quality of life. Learn what your power is, and learn what belongs to an artist, a writer, or producer. Take your time, build a team, network. I think networking is the best way to get to the best people. Expose your talent. Always have to let people know what you're doing. I think a lot of people have a lot of talent and they never expose it. So no one knows. And it was like, well, I don't understand why it's not happening. Because you're keeping everything on your computer and your iPhone, and nobody knows that you're that talented. So expose yourself, expose your talents. Um, and work hard. You got to be dedicated to work hard, because there's someone else who's willing to outwork you, who may
Mhm.
have a a third of your talent, but they have more drive than you. And I think the one who drives it furthest wins the race.
Okay. So JxHINES, through this whole journey, somewhere down the line, do you feel like you'll be producing as well?
You mean from a production standpoint or just?
Yes, from a production standpoint.
I actually do all that. I'm actually a
Yeah.
one-stop shop, man. I do it all, man. I'm very anointed. I'm blessed, and I don't, my gift and my craft is something I practice daily, all the time, and then like I said, just being able to link up with this guy and being able to get into other rooms to grow. Even me feeling like I feel about what I have now, I just can't wait to see myself grow into spaces that I didn't imagine I could do. But production and writing and structuring records and understanding melody, like I write all my records myself. I'm that type of guy. So everything you're hearing from me and what you're gonna hear is comes from me. It's like my music is my diary. So you're gonna always know how I'm feeling and where I'm at. So yeah, we're doing a lot of that now. I just can't wait to expand it and link up with some people that's already, where I'm trying to be to see what that's gonna sound like one day. So yeah, yes sir.
So tell the viewers about some of your live performance. I mean, I'm sure that you've done some. So let's talk about some of the experiences that you've actually encountered.
Yes, sir. So I've opened up for the likeness of people like the baby, K Michelle, Anthony, who else? I've done a lot of local shows. Oh my gosh, I've done so many shows. Just locally, just getting my name into a place where it could even resonate. But I do knowing what my fans are gonna look like and feel like and be like, and yeah. But for shows, man, my journey alone has I've collected a lot of shows along the way, but watching this guy, it lets me know that I got more work to do. And I look forward to putting it in because I want to be I want to be that great, and I'm
Right.
thankful I got a coach that can teach me how to do that. So yes sir.
I appreciate it.
So Anthony, you want to talk about any upcoming events that you think that the viewers might want to know about? Anthony, can you hear me?
I think the
Well,
reception
anyway,
is
we'll get
acting
back
up.
to you, Mr.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, it's okay.
Oh okay.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
So apparently, Mr.
Hello?
Hines, yeah, can you hear me? All right, Mr. Hines, let's talk about some other
Hello?
futuristic things that you're actually going to be involved with.
Yes sir. As of right now,
I can't
like
I
I said,
can't
the
hear y'all.
focus is and I do have uh I'm opening up for Coco Jones on May 20th. But I look forward to collabing with the people that's open to collaborating with me and growing with me. I really want to work with everybody that I can. No specific names, but if I can reach the Beyonce and the people that actually have the influence and certain things that I've admired along the way, that'll be pretty cool to see that what that'll sound like on wax together.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So from an integrated standard view, what are you going to symbolize through this whole journey, as far as your music's concerned?
My brand is making it cool to love again. So I'm CEO and making it cool to love again, which is what I stand for. That's my brand. It's about self-empowerment, self-love, self-awareness, mental health, all the above. So I just look forward to being a leader in my generation, being able to connect to black men and women that look like me, and not just us, just all races. And I want to be able to leave a legacy of healing and prosperity and somebody that actually is genuine and can transcend to the highest levels just being yourself. So, that's the role I'm coming in as, and, I want to leave my mark.
That's a cool thing, man. I feel that you have a great start, especially with Anthony. He's so humble
Yes, sir.
and he's willing to actually be there for you, man. And a lot of artists don't get that type of love, man. Because
Nah.
like I said, it's a cunning business. Everybody's out just for the monetary part of it, and
Mm.
a lot of people get screwed at the end. you know, and I feel that dealing with the right people, man, would actually take you for a long, you know, take you to the right places, you know?
Yes, sir. And using that discernment, man, it was a hard decision and not knowing, you know, and we both had to trust each other. You know what I'm saying? It was a level of I'm his first artist. He's my first ever real, you know, major situation. So we both had to kind of learn to trust each other, like, you know,
Right.
and it was a lot of filling out one another and filling out, okay, I know what I'm hearing, but is he really like that on paper? And it's really it's rewarding when you can show someone like him that you're worth showing off. You're worth being placed in these positions. And like I said, my journey of taking my time, it has allowed me to be prepared for those opportunities that he's placing in front of me right now.
Okay. Any shout outs to anyone that you want to actually acknowledge right now?
Shout out to my mom. Shout out to my dad. Shout out to Charlotte. Shout out to South Florida, man. Just shout out to everybody that's been supporting me up until this point, and I just look forward to making everybody proud and putting it on my back and looking back on this, seeing the change that we made along the way. So, yes, sir.
Okay.
Shout out to
So how you feeling right now, man? Because today's your day. You know what I'm saying?
uh,
You know,
I feel good. I feel good. I'm alive, man. I'm alive. I'm not one of those guys. You're not gonna hear a lot of out of me. You can't take the whole world with you when you go. I'm just ecstatic to be right here, right now.
okay. All
And
right.
yeah,
And
I
that's a
look
cool
forward
thing,
to
man.
seeing this record grow.
So,
Yes,
you know, it's been a pleasure to have you on my show. You and Anthony. Anthony had a little technical difficulty, but it's
yeah,
okay. His spirit is still in the house, you
yes, sir,
know.
yes,
And
sir,
I want to thank you guys for actually coming through the legends and
yes, sir,
giving me the opportunity to actually expose you to the world. You know what I'm saying?
yes,
So,
sir.
and it's been another T-Lo video production. In the house, we had Anthony Hamilton and JxHINES. So stay tuned for another episode.
Thank y'all so much.
For the love of house.
The dynamic soul sounds of
For the love of
DJ
dance.
Tyrone Lowe. DJ Tyrone Lowe. DJ Tyrone Lowe.
That's nice. That's nice. That's nice.
DJ Tyrone Lowe. The dynamic soul sounds of DJ Tyrone Lowe.
Put a frog in a pot of boiling water and it'll jump right out. But put a frog in a pot of cool water and slowly heat it up, and that frog will boil. As veterans, we can tell ourselves the lie that it's easier to stay in that boiling water, to disconnect. But you've never been interested in easy. You are not a frog.
Find resources at va.gov/reach.
It's not just mine, his or her house. This is our house.